He who never made a mistake never made a discovery. Hello, everyone. I'm Mrs. Suman Ranganath Chinnappa. I was born and brought up in Bangalore. I love this city. It's given me so much. I was all of 15, still in school, and a happy child at that, when one morning my mother said to me, before I left to school, that I was to come directly to my grandparents' house because there was going to be a movie shooting there and that everybody was going there to watch it. See, those days we didn't have mobile phones. So whatever communication had to be done, it had to be done first thing in the morning before everybody left the house. Well, I remember not being that excited about the shoot, but I was definitely curious. So after school, I did go to my grandparents' house, stood in a corner watching the shoot. When we went home after the shooting, my mother said to me that the cameraman asked her who I was. And when she replied, "She is my daughter," he apparently said she should be in the movies. And she said, "I don't think so. She needs to finish her studies first." I was very shocked and surprised that the cameraman thought that I could be an actress. I had never once thought of myself as somebody who could be an actress. I was an outdoor girl. I was into sport, out in the sun. I didn't care if I got a tan. I didn't care about how I looked. But however, the cameraman and the producer didn't give up. So I said to myself, why not? I'll do one movie and see where that goes. And that's how my career in the film industry started unexpectedly. While I was shooting for my first Kannada movie, I realized I could act, I could dance, was not camera shy, and I had this sense of confidence within me. I was actually enjoying myself very much. That was the first time I discovered that I could do something, that I was capable of doing something that I had never dreamed of. I went on to doing more movies in Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam. I was modeling at the same time. I was busy, I was successful, and I said to myself, I'm okay. As chance has it, I'd gone to Mumbai to do a fashion show, and some of my pictures were out in a magazine and some papers. I was then approached by director Vikram Bhatt for my first Hindi movie. I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe my luck. Of course, I said yes. Fareb was my first Hindi movie. It did quite well. So I said I'm going to try my hand in Hindi movies and decided to move to Mumbai. Mumbai is a big city. I was going to have to live there by myself, away from my parents, whom I love very much, and can't stand being away from. I didn't know the language. I didn't know too many people. I was going to have to live in a rented house. It was a huge challenge for me. But Mumbai made me feel welcome. Fareb had done quite well. The movie had done well, the songs were a super hit, and I was getting all these compliments and encouragements from a lot of people. What amazed me was now I was meeting people that I grew up having posters of. I was overwhelmed. I was a confident girl, coming from a very secure background. I'd done a lot of movies in the South, so I was not worried about my acting capabilities. But what I was worried about was that I was so pampered back home, and now I'd taken this big step, and I was going to have to take all the decisions myself. I felt like I grew up overnight. It was a very competitive environment, and I didn't come from a filmy background, so I had to work harder and give it my all. And I did. I went on to doing some very good movies like Aab, Lord Chalet, Bagban, and many more, and I was very lucky to work with some of the best talents in the industry. I was traveling the world. I had made some amazing friends. I was the happiest and peaceful when I was shooting and acting, and life was great. But when time went by, I didn't get the kind of roles that satisfied the artist in me, and the competition was only getting stiffer. So I started to get a little insecure and unsure, but there was this voice in me that said, "Come on, Suman, you can do this." How many people get a chance to work in Hindi movies? You love acting, this is your passion, don't give up now. But something in me had changed. I had become more insecure. I wanted to be understood. I wanted to be seen, validated, and all of this was making me very unhappy. I didn't know where all this was coming from. I had the support of my parents. I lived in Mumbai working in Hindi movies. I looked amazing. I had a fancy car, I had a fancy apartment, but there was this vacuum. And that was the time I discovered that I was lost, didn't know who I was and what I really wanted. And a certain decision I took in my personal life meant that I give up my acting career. That only added to my sense of insecurities and lack of self-worth. I was making all the wrong choices in my personal and my professional life. That was the lowest point in my life. I started to question and doubt the path that I had chosen. So I took some time off, came back to Bangalore to live with my parents. See, I have the best parents in the world. I can keep saying this. I have the best parents in the world. They've always been very supportive and encouraging. They're my best friends, and I was very happy to come back to live with them. Now, the question for me was not to have a resume of positions and titles, but about discovering my purpose. Because when you inevitably stumble and find yourself stuck in a hole like I had, it's only that sense of purpose that's going to get you out. So I ask myself this question every day: who am I and what do I really want? And I realize now that the only journey for me was the journey within. I'll tell you this, it's not only the most difficult thing to know oneself. It's also a very inconvenient one. I continued to live with my parents, and I decided to do Southern movies. I had to start from scratch like a newcomer. But I told myself I'm an artist, and I'm confident about my craft. I'm sincere, and I'm hardworking, and I'm not going to let anything come in the way. So I chose some very challenging roles and pushed myself beyond limits. Gave me a sense of satisfaction like never before. I started to get a lot of adulation and love and respect for my work, and won a lot of awards for them too. I started to feel a little secure and confident. And I told myself I'm exactly where I should be and that I am okay. But there was this little voice in my head again. It said, no matter what you do, how successful you are, how great an actress people think you are, there's always more to achieve. What is my true calling was the question in my heart. And the answer was, when you learn, teach. When you get, give. That should be your purpose. This time I wanted to do something where I could feel a connect with my soul, with my spirit, grow into the person I was meant to be, give my life a greater meaning. I realized I'm a very positive person, and all the ups and downs had taught me so much, and I wanted to give back. I had this quality where I could sense another's pain and recognize a somebody in a nobody. I wanted my life to be now about compassion, empathy, and love. So I enrolled myself in Banjara Academy and earned a degree in personal counseling skills. That was a phase in my life I will never forget. I met some amazing people, visited a lot of hospitals and institutes, volunteered at Nightingale's, interacted with a lot of burnt victims, addicts, and many more people who don't have the advantages that we take for granted. Changed my life completely. I was humbled. Service was all that I wanted to be part of now. I discovered that there is no satisfaction that can compare with looking back across the years and finding that you have grown in self-control, generosity, and selflessness. Know who you are and what you really want, and do the right thing. Because all choices begin and end with you. Thank you.